Hello, it's Phil Thach, and today I want to talk to you about my thoughts about the Nikon or NIKKOR Z series lens roadmap, and really one lens that has the people here at this house, Heather and I, really excited, and that is the 200 to 600 lens. First, we'll talk about the whole roadmap, and they started out with the 24 to 70 f4, and then they had a 50 millimeter 1.8 prime and a 35 1.8 prime, and now their lineup has kind of almost filled out. They have the Holy Trinity. They've got a 14 to 24, a 24 to 70, and a 70 to 200 2.8 Z lens. And I don't have any of those because I really am happy with the way the FTZ adapter works, and I had all those lenses for my F-mount systems before I switched over to Z. As a matter of fact, right now this video is being made with my Nikon Z6 and an FTZ adapter and the 24 to 70 f2.8G lens, which I made a video about how much I like it even on a Z series camera. I'll put a link to it up there. I have for telephoto, I have the 200 to 500, which is a fantastic, inexpensive, relatively lightweight telephoto lens. It works perfectly fine. This is Heather's Z50 that it's currently attached to, an FTZ adapter, so that's fantastic. And I also have this crazy heavy 500 f4G VR lens, which weighs like 8 pounds, 8.5 pounds, 8.55 pounds or something crazy like that. And this is my Z50 and FTZ. And so for me, I don't need any more telephoto lenses. These two and the teleconverters that I use on this lens will get me where I need to go. Well, Heather wants a telephoto lens, and she's considered buying a third-party lens, and I'm like, nah, don't get a third-party super telephoto. I mean, I'm sure the Sigmas and the Tamrons are fantastic, but you know, I just worry about them working well with the FTZ adapter. And she's almost bought like 2 or 3 times her own 200 to 500, and I'm thinking, well, you know, we've already got one of those, and I like mine enough not to replace it with a Z mount lens. But if she's going to buy her own super telephoto, she doesn't own any F mount cameras, she might as well hold out and wait for this 200 to 600 lens, which is on the Nikon roadmap. So let's talk about that lens. It is not an S-line lens. You know, that the S-line is like the top of the line lenses, and the non-S-line is not the top of the line lenses. Well, the only Z-mount lenses that I own are the 2 kit lenses that come with the Z50, the 16 to 50 and the 50 to 250. Neither one of these are S-line lenses. They're very plasticky. As a matter of fact, they come with the crappy rear cap, and I've replaced them with good rear caps. I spent the money and got decent caps for them. That's the bad news. The good news, optically, these lenses are fantastic. Fantastic. They look really, really great. They both have vibration reduction. They're super cool. So just because it doesn't say S-line doesn't mean it's not going to be optically good. And at the end of the day, optically good is what we're interested in. It doesn't have to be super pish-posh feeling. It just needs to work well. And that's what we're looking for. So, you know, if you look at other brands' 200 to 600 lenses, like for example, Sony's 200 to 600 is an f5.6 to f6.3, and 6.3 is kind of slow, but it's not an S-line lens. So that may be part of it. They couldn't put S-line on a lens that's so slow to be 6.3. But, you know, for a super telephoto for 600 millimeters, 6.3 is not too bad, especially if it's 500, when you have it at 500 millimeters, if it's 5.6 at 500, and then when you get that extra 100 millimeters, it slows down to 6.3, then, you know, it's superior to this. This is 5.6 all the way from 200 to 500, but it doesn't go to 600. So if that lens was to only slow down to f6 or 6.3 past 500 millimeters, I'm saying it's going to kill the 200 to 500. So Heather's thinking about getting a lens, and she is waiting for the 200 to 600. Now she could get, you know, a lens that would be really good for her would be the F-mount 500 millimeter PF. It's a 500 millimeter prime. It's super light. It's super small. It's just brilliant. But it's also, what is it, $3,400, $3,500? $3,600. Heather has helped me out and said $3,600. That is a lot of money. We're thinking that this lens, that the 200 to 600, is probably going to be priced, you know, and this is just a guess, but we think it's probably going to be priced similar to the Sony 200 to 600, and that is $1899.99. So that is a bunch cheaper. Plus, a zoom lens is more versatile. Heather and I were in South Carolina just recently, and you know, I was carrying this 500 millimeter prime because Heather was using my 200 to 500, and there were some situations where I needed a telephoto, but 500 was too much. So that zoom lens was really nice. And that'll be a good thing about the 200 to 600 as well, because, you know, especially like sometimes when I'm shooting deer, 500 is too much, but the 200 to 600 works, or my 200 to 500 works great for deer. So the 500 PF would be great. I wish it was a Z mount. You know, I'd hate to spend $3,600 or have Heather spend $3,600 for a Z mount lens. I wish they would make a Z mount version of it, and I wish it was a little bit cheaper. You know, $1899 is a lot of money. That'd be the most expensive lens Heather had ever bought. And like I say, hopefully it'll be, you know, no slower than f6.3 on the long end. And I think, you know, these lenses have a plastic mount. I'm sure that lens is going to have a metal mount, and I think it's going to be dynamite. They just need to make that thing. So in closing, I think that the 200 to 600 Z mount lens is going to be fantastic. Nikon's been working on it for a while. It's been on the roadmap for a while, but they haven't officially announced it. And our hopes around this house is that they'll go ahead and announce that thing and release it, and that it's going to be awesome. So come on, Nikon, make that 200 to 600.
And hurry up and take my money.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.